Frank Giavella with The Contending. I am so happy to have Oscar nominee Marianne Jean-Baptiste here today to discuss her new film, Hard Truths. Welcome, Marianne, and congratulations on a truly extraordinary performance.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh my God, and I'm making the BAFTA long list today,
Oh, yeah. Wow. It
right?
doesn't get shorter and we stay on it.
Well, I think all this awards buzz is so deserved for you. I'm just wondering how you're feeling.
It's great. I was just saying to somebody today, it is like a celebration of a job that you enjoyed doing, where you got on with everybody, and this small independent film being recognized and people talking about it. It's like a celebration every day. You're getting to talk to people and they're saying how much they enjoyed it, how it moved them. I've met various pansies that are mother-in-laws, mothers, aunties. So it's really resonating with people, and it's a great thing.
Yeah, you were in many ways playing my aunt and my cousin. And I thought to myself, we encounter variations of pansies throughout our lives, and sometimes we can be pansies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we all have, the propensity to complain about things or judge things. The difference is, I think that many of us have a filter and recognize that, maybe what we're thinking or feeling is unreasonable before it comes out of our mouths.
Yeah, that is very true. Uh, so, Marianne, tell me about how this enchanting reunion with Mike Leigh came about.
Well, basically, he sort of approached me before the pandemic and said, I'd love to do another film. Don't know what it's about, don't know what you'll be playing in it. But if you're down, I'll be happy to do it. And so we planned to do something in 2019. And then the pandemic happened. And
Mm.
so sort of like pushed it off until we could work in, without the restrictions. So that was 2023 when we sort of like came back together to work on Hard Truths, or what became
Wow.
Hard Truths.
Well, I mean, you're asked this all the time, and Mike is asked to explain it, but if you could give us a little bit of the process and specifically how you both created Pansy and her world.
Right. So first day of rehearsals, you're required to go in with a list of people you know from real life. And I probably had over 100 people on my list. And you just systematically go through the list, describing these women to Mike. And, he listens and makes notes, and the lists get smaller and smaller and smaller till you end up with about 5 characters who you merge. The way you merge it is those characters is a trade secret, so we'll just skip that bit. And then you start creating a character based off of these 5 characters from scratch. So from their first memory up to the age they're gonna be when we see them in the film. Every detail of their life, in finite detail, what school they went to, the teachers, who they played with, the friends, and then you start dealing with the family aspect. And at that point, Michelle Austin, who plays Chantel, would have come in, and you'll start working on a parallel history, about them growing up, the parties, the holidays. We created Pearl, the mother who you never see, in detail. So it's we talk into existence the families, the world. We go and find the house that they would have grown up in London, work out the bus route. I mean, it's like, just so
Wow.
that by the time you come to improvising, you've just got index cards of information about these people that you can use.
I'm curious because obviously Mike is an important part of the process, but are you allowed or do you keep some secret pansy things that you don't tell him about?
Oh no.
No.
I mean, no, no, no. You tell him because he'll find a way to use them to enrich the character. So if you kind of like, you'd be over, you have a break over the weekend or whatever, and you go, do you know what? I think she's really, really observant. And he'll go, really? How so? And you'd sort of say, no, that she just sees the world in like, it's little details that she picks up on that regular people might not. And then he'll say, okay, we'll go away this weekend or tomorrow evening, like really softly get into character. Don't go into full character because you wouldn't want her getting into a fight with anybody. But just go out as her and observe. And so I'd go out and I'd observe and I'd be like, oh, those charity workers standing outside that shop, they're so annoying. People are trying to do their shopping. They don't want to do it. And so Pansy's inner voice started to develop because of that, because of
Mm.
sharing that little information with him and him thinking, okay, where can she take that? How can we use that to help her create this character?
Because of her fears and her anxieties, I would think it's a dark place to go for an actor.
Yeah.
How do you pull yourself out?
Well, we have a technique where you have to come out of character. You also don't ever speak about the character in the first person. So it's always she, it's never I. There
Mm.
is no part of this process that is method, right? It's about acting. Mike talks about character actors and actors wanting to transform themselves into these characters, not to become and live as those characters. Because that's quite unhealthy. Because just put it this way, if I were to use the method with someone like Pansy, she probably wouldn't go to rehearsals. She wouldn't listen to Mike Leigh. She'd probably argue with him the whole time about everything. So if I was being true to her character, it just really wouldn't work.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Yeah, it would work.
I one of the things I love Pansy. I felt for her. I really felt for her. And I feel like this film asks us to take a really long, hard look at people before we judge them, to not
Yes.
condemn so quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I love Pansy. I, for me, it's very important to not judge your character. I feel extremely protective of her. I have a lot of compassion for her because obviously I know where the pain comes from,
Yeah.
But what I've found to be such a treat is the amount of people who do have compassion for her. It really gives me hope, especially when we're in such a sort of polarized time.
Yeah.
It's really sort of encouraging that people are looking at a character like Pansy and going, "Oh my God, I just want to hug her."
Yeah.
Pain, that's like she's in a lot of pain.
Yeah. Yeah. But she loves too. That's the thing. Like I feel like she really loves Chantel and
Oh,
she really loves Moses.
yeah. She just doesn't know how to love.
Yeah.
She's afraid to. She's afraid of losing something or being weak or being rejected. It's very irrational, but I think there's a lot of people out there like that for sure.
Right, and to go on the offensive, like I'm fascinated by the parking lot scene because she has that altercation with that man, and yet I feel like they he almost gave as good as she gives in many ways.
Beautiful. When we did the improvisation of that scene, and at the end, Mike always checks in. And after he says come out of character, he came over and he said to me, "How was that? How did that feel?" And I said, "I think she's in love."
Oh,
And he burst out laughing. And I said, no, it was exhilarating because somebody fought back. Somebody rose to her in that moment, and it felt invigorating, and she felt alive because it was like, you know, those guys that get drunk every weekend and they go out and they get into a fight.
I know a few of them. Yeah.
Right. And it's almost like it's intimacy they crave. Do you know what I mean? They're not being hugged during the week, you know. So it's the closest they're going to get to physical contact is just like wrestling and struggling. And I think it's a bit like that.
Wow. I see. Now I want to see it a fourth time. Uh, I wanted to ask you about Secrets and Lies and what that the Oscar experience is. It's sort of a two-pronged question, but I want to know what the Oscar experience was for you first.
Wow. Well, that was a very surreal experience coming from South London um, at the time, because as you know, it was way back in like 96 or 97, the Academy Awards was. We would get it televised out there like some bizarre hour at night. So it wasn't like a huge thing for me growing up in London. The Oscars was something that was far over there that celebrated. People wore fancy clothes and it was like all about stars and celebrities and blah, blah, blah. So to even be nominated at that time was like, what? That's like you've kind of crossed over into another universe. So it was just like, wow, how did that happen? And then to be there, I mean, it was just surreal. Jack Nicholson, Faye Dunaway, was it? The Mirror Has Two Faces. Barbara Hershey, Lauren Bacall. You know, it was like Muhammad Ali was there and George Foreman. And it was just like, when is somebody going to wake us up? When is somebody just going to go, okay, you're not
The,
breathing? I mean, it was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience to have early on in my career.
then after your performance got such deserved again acclaim, and once the hoopla died down, the offers weren't really what they should have been.
Yeah, no, I think it was a very different climate. You know, the offers weren't what they should have been or could have been. I don't like to use the word should,
Should. Yeah.
because I think things happen the way that they should be and that best benefit your life and your life condition. So, but if I'm to look at it in an objective way, say, then you go, no, you'd think that it would follow a certain path of getting particular roles in things, whether you would potentially be nominated again or da da da. But it didn't follow in that path, no.
But just following your career and watching your amazing performances in these films and now seeing this, it for me, I feel it every all the attention you're getting you deserve. Honestly, I think you're such an you first of all, you were the first, I believe you were the first British black actress to be nominated.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, groundbreaking. Then the con thing happened and you spoke out rightly.
yeah, yeah,
And I feel 30 years later, maybe we're making a little progress. Maybe.
yeah, yeah. I hope so. You know, you hope so. You hope, like, man, guys, we've got to shift this somehow.
Yeah, big time. Big time. So seeing Hard Truths with an audience, and seeing all those pieces come together, what was that like?
Well, the first time I saw it, oh no, with an audience was very different. When I saw it with the cast and crew, I was just anxious. I just kept thinking somebody is going to hit that woman. And then I thought, oh, you were there. Nobody did. It's okay. But when I saw it with the audience and they were laughing, I was like, God. And then you think, actually, this shit is funny. Some of the stuff that she says is funny. And then the emotional bit at the end, like from the cemetery onwards, your heart is just breaking. And you just want
Yeah.
to go, oh, just come on, reach her somehow.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful. They bloody gave a standing ovation when
As
the
well they should.
yeah, I mean
Oh, I used should again. I apologize.
it was like, oh, because you never know when you're making it, you don't go, oh, we're going to make this film and we're going to tailor make it so that it gets awards and the audience reacts like this, that. You don't even know what the bloody film's about while you're making it because you only know what your character would know. So the first time you see the film is the first time you know what the film's about. So you don't have any of those expectations that you might have with an ordinary film script project. So watching people actually get it, respond to it, you hear sniffling in the audience, at appropriate times or when people are moved, you're just like, oh my God, they get it. It's doing what we intended or what we'd hoped it to do. That's that in itself is an award. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
I do, yes. Marianne, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out. I could speak with you all day. What can we see you in next is my final question
No,
to you.
I haven't made it yet.
Ah, okay. But you are making it, right?
No, not yet, but I will. I'll get to it.
Okay. All
All right.
right. Good to hear. Thank you so much for spending time and honestly, you deserve all the acclaim you're getting and more.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.